The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Tonight, we interview one of Vermilion's oldest veterans.
We'll have that and more coming up. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
The Vermilion Public Library is hosting a presentation about the Miss South Dakota organization. Welcome to Coyote News. I'm Xander Hull.
And I'm Ava Sevening. We'll get to that story in a moment, but first, a second sexual assault was reported to the University Police Department. The reported assault took place on November 3rd, but was not reported to police until last Thursday. The incident occurred in a residence hall on the north side of campus. The assault was from an acquaintance who is not affiliated with USD. This reported assault is not connected with the sexual assault that was discussed last week on Coyote News. If you've been a witness or victim of a crime, contact UPD or local law enforcement.
South Dakota Senator John Thune's been elected the next Senate Majority Leader. Thune is replacing Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving Senate party leader. Republicans will take majority control of the Senate with the 53 seats that they won in last week's elections. Thune's in his fourth Senate term. He has promised to work closely with President-elect Donald Trump despite the differences between the two over the years. Thune says he's extremely honored to have earned the support of his colleagues. Donald Trump has selected South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem to head the Department of Homeland Security. Trump announced Noem's nomination yesterday. The Department of Homeland Security is one of the biggest government agencies and will be integrated into Trump's efforts to secure the border and carry out a massive deportation operation. If the Senate confirms Noem, Lieutenant Governor Larry Roden would automatically become South Dakota's next governor.
As the school bell rang, Vermilion High School paused its typical schedule to honor something bigger than the classroom. The annual Veterans Day Assembly showcased many awards and performances honoring veterans who served in the United States, as well as a speech by First Sergeant Dr. Timothy Shorn, who shared his story, including why he cares so much about America's youth. Winners of the Veterans Day essay competition were also recognized. Richard Barda, a veteran who fought in the Korean War, attends the event each year. He says the connection with young people means a lot to him.
I think this was one of the better programs. I've seen a lot of them, and I think this was one of the better ones. I think it's just a great idea that they get our young people in here, students from grade school on up.
The ceremony was attended by veterans, active duty service members, USD ROTC, and the community, who set aside their typical schedule to honor those who have served. The Veterans Day event will be held by the high school again next year, continuing the ongoing tradition of supporting the people who support the country. The Student Veterans Club held their annual Veterans Dinner, with more than 100 guests meeting to celebrate those who have served. The event happened in the Eagles Club downtown, with the venue decorated to pay respects to fallen soldiers. The dinner was free for all guests and consisted of sandwiches and sides catered by Hex Dakota-style barbecue. The room was completely full, which led Veterans Club member Lance Lundy to think the event's goals were achieved.
The main goal of the event is to bring not only student veterans from USD, obviously, but veterans from all around surrounding communities to show them we're thankful to have them here to support us.
Along with the food, many veterans bought raffle tickets, with the raffle prizes consisting of gift cards, baskets, blankets, and other goodies. Raffle proceeds and donations are also for a good cause, with it all going to the Veterans Club's existing endowment.
Miss Hot Springs will be hosting a presentation next Tuesday night at the Vermilion Public Library about the Miss South Dakota organization. Julia Stanek is a senior at USD studying criminal justice and political science. She has been competing in the organization for the past 3 years. She's represented not only Vermilion as Miss South Dakota, but Huron as well. Stanek looks forward to bringing awareness to the program. Light snacks, refreshments, and coloring pages will be provided for younger audiences. The event starts at 6 o'clock and is free and open to the public. Coyote News' Parker Orr is live in the muck to talk with political science emeritus professor Dr. Michael Card about the political position changes. Parker?
Thanks, Sander. Dr. Card, you've been covering politics for quite some time. If Governor Noem is confirmed to the cabinet, what does that mean for the lieutenant governor and the state election?
Well, I think the first thing that I want to back you up a step, because first of all, she won't be officially nominated until January 20th when Donald Trump takes the oath of office. Then she can resign her office, assuming she does, and she may wait until after the confirmation hearing or until the Senate goes into recess. But what it means is Larry Roden will become the governor if she resigns or when she resigns, and then Lieutenant Governor Roden will take over the management of the governor's office and the cabinet agencies, as well as work with the legislature to get some form of a package passed. Then the governor will name a lieutenant governor, is the way that it works in South Dakota, with the advice and consent of the South Dakota Senate.
And then with Senator John Thune being voted as the Senate Majority Leader, could you see this benefiting South Dakota or impacting South Dakotans directly?
Well, if we think of what the Majority Leader's job is, their first job is they control what comes to the floor. They make committee assignments. They control basically the agenda and who gets to speak if you're the Majority Leader. So Senator Thune could make a fast track both for the confirmation of Governor Noem, or could, as most majority leaders have done, bring the bacon home to South Dakota, as they say. Is bringing home the bacon meaning projects, and certainly one of the major projects is going to be something like Ellsworth. It could be getting the Farm Bill on the fast track if that doesn't happen between now and the end of the year, so that both SNAP benefits are available as well as farm subsidies and price supports. So those are the two things I see coming up, but the Majority Leader controls the agenda, controls what committee a bill goes to, and controls who's on that committee. That's a very powerful position.
Thank you so much for making it out here, Dr. Card. Live for Coyote News, I'm Parker Orr.
Thanks, Parker. Again, most nominees will await confirmation by the Senate beginning in late January. Coming up, esports live streams for 24 hours to raise money for Sioux Falls Children's Hospital. You're watching Coyote News.
This is Coyote News.
Joey Montoya is the founder, creative director, and CEO of Urban Native Era. He visited campus yesterday to host a discussion in Old Maine's Farber Hall. Montoya built his fashion brand to bring indigenous visibility through fashion and design. His designs can be seen on the show Reservation Dogs. They are currently being sold at REI. Montoya has been featured on ABC's localish series Unfiltered and mentioned in magazines such as Cosmopolitan and Vogue. The discussion ended with questions from the audience about his business and inspiration behind his work. Native Student Services is hosting a Native fashion show right now in the muck. The organization teamed up with a living learning community for the event. The Makers Market runs from now until 8 o'clock and features Native vendors and designers. The actual fashion show starts at 6:30. The event is free and open to the public.
The Campus Activities Board invites students to come chill, play, and light up the night with friends with Coyote Night. The event takes place tomorrow night at 8 in the muck. There will be arcade games, neon painting, and laser tag. A silent disco will start at 9:30 until the event ends at 11. Free food will also be provided. The Wellness Center will be celebrating Community Fun Day on Sunday afternoon. There will be an obstacle course, fitness testing, climbing wall, and games. Yoga and Zumba sessions will also be offered. Charlie Coyote will even make an appearance, and Hy-Vee and USD Dental will have booths. Community Fun Day will start at 1 and is open and free to all.
A celebration of all things music happened in downtown Vermilion last weekend. South by South Dakota was held at the AV Lounge for the second year in a row. Joseph Reich, event coordinator and owner of the AV Lounge, says he enjoys how this festival brings music culture to the area.
There's plenty of live music that you can go see at a lot of bars. A lot of it's cover bands, which is great. Like, cover bands are wonderful, but the idea here is let's get as many people as possible who are musicians from this area writing new music and performing it and giving a stage for that.
The festival allowed musicians from around the Vermilion area to come together and play original music for the crowd. The event aimed to bring together and create a community of people who love music and to help them step out of their shell.
Games and good deeds were the order of business when the Esports Club kicked off their 24-hour charity live stream. Raising money for the Extra Life Foundation was the goal, as members participated in video games, entertaining the live chat, and competed in poker against other esports members. Michael Wingate is the esports marketing chair.
I think my favorite part of doing these live streams is getting a chance to see students grow and succeed in helping children's hospitals in Sioux Falls. It's like a large sense of community going on.
After some well-deserved rest, the Esports Club will begin working towards their next charity live stream. The live stream event was able to surpass its goal of $500 raised.
Fraternities and sororities are hosting events this week with expected laughs and some winter festivities. Pi Kappa Alpha is hosting Thursday Night Live for the 28th consecutive year. The fundraiser is a sketch comedy show that raises awareness for local children and families battling cancer. Pi Beta Phi will be in Yankton for a skating event taking place Saturday afternoon at the Yankton Ice Rink. Details on Greek life events can be found on the USD Involved page. Coyote News' Parker Orr is live in the muck with Pike to discuss their fundraiser tomorrow night. Parker?
Thanks, Xander. I'm live with Cody Steen for a closer look at Thursday Night Live. Cody, what is the history behind this event?
So Pike has done this 27 years so far, and pretty much what we've done is we've performed in the muck and in Alf's, and so this is at least the 5th year we've done it in Alf's, and so pretty much it's just a group of guys trying to perform and make fun of ourselves in front of people to raise money for our philanthropy.
Will you be performing in any of the acts tomorrow, and can you give us a little teaser about what it's going to be about?
Yes, I will be. One of the skits I'm doing is Study Abroad. So it's based off of college study abroad, because we have multiple students in our fraternity that are foreign exchange, and so it will be a funny play on words of study abroad.
And then this event will be raising money for cancer awareness and fundraising. How do you guys pick fundraising topics and what to bring money towards?
So we only raise money for Cure Kids Cancer, the Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls. And so we've done that because one of our brothers dealt with a family member, his little sister, went through chemo and went through the Cure Kids Cancer, the Cancer Radiothon Children's Hospital when he was in college. And so we brought that organization to our philanthropy, and we're now raising money for them.
Thank you so much for making it out here, Cody. Live for Coyote News, I'm Parker Orr.
Thanks, Parker. The funds raised from the sketch comedy show will go to local children and families battling cancer.
Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away, and the university is already celebrating the holiday. Muck Residential Dining is hosting a Friendsgiving dinner tonight, hosted by Sodexo. Country Swing Dance Club is hosting a Thanksgiving swing dance on Saturday. There will be dance lessons for both country swing and line dance styles. The event starts at 7:30 and lasts until midnight. A list of the university's Thanksgiving events can be found on USD Involved. Next on Coyote Sports, the football team gets a shutout victory after a bye week.
And women's basketball prepares for the first of 3 different neutral site games this season.
This is Coyote News.
The men's basketball team faces a Big Ten opponent. This is Coyote Sports. I'm Jacob Pierce.
And I'm Mohammed. The volleyball team reaches a 5-match win streak. USD records were broken in a lopsided victory against Indiana State Saturday. The Coyotes hosted the Sycamores for the Military Appreciation Game. This year, the team honored the United States Army's 24th Infantry Division. Head strength and conditioning coach Clete McLeod served in it from 1992 to 1996. The matchup with the Sycamores quickly became one for the records book. South Dakota's Carter Bell became the Coyotes' all-time leader in receptions and receiving yards, along with Aiden Bauman, throwing for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, just minimizing our mistakes. The state game, you saw, a lot was on us and internal, and just through the bye week, we just kind of focused on ourselves and just trying to improve every day.
This was the second time this season that the Coyotes shut out their opponents, winning the final score being 49-0. USD heads to Grand Forks this weekend to face North Dakota. The men's basketball team hoped to keep an undefeated season alive against Mount Marty at home and on the road against Big Ten opponent Iowa. USD beat the Lancers 77-47 after 3 bench players scored in double digits with Shea Eberwein, Isaac Bronze, and Dre Bullock. Against the Hawkeyes, the Coyotes trailed by just 6 points at halftime, but Iowa came out in the second half and scored 54 points to beat USD 96-77. Caleb Stewart led South Dakota with 26 points. The Coyotes play another South Dakota school, Dakota Wesleyan, here at home tomorrow night.
The triathlon team completed their postseason run, finishing 7th at the national championships. Scoring 777 points, USD finished 7th out of 14 teams, 1 spot better than last year. Alexa McGowan led the Coyotes, finishing in 17th out of 195 competitors, scoring 178 points. The team has 1 meet scheduled for the spring semester in April. Coyote News' Maggie Bishop is live in the muck with one of the play-by-play announcers for this weekend's high school state matchups. Maggie?
Thanks, Jacob. I'm here with Steve Toom, who's covering tomorrow's high school state football games. So, Steve, how have you been preparing for these state games?
A lot of prep work, and people don't know that for every hour you're on the air, you probably have to put in 2-3 hours of prep work, studying names, statistics, past records for a team. It's a lot of work that goes into the game, and that's just my responsibility. our crew over at the Dakota Domes, wiring cables, setting up cameras, so a lot of work goes into it before you even see a first picture.
And are there any specific names that we should be looking out for these games?
Well, I think for the Peer Governors, they're looking for their 8th straight state title. And they have 4 losses on the year, and no one had thought that Steve Steele would have that team back at the Dome this year. But what a record they've had. There's going to be some players that I think in the 9-man classes that really could surprise people.
And how big is that, considering that other teams aren't even looking for their 2nd state title?
Well, it's record-setting. I remember when West Central won 6 straight titles. I did all those games on the air, and I thought when I saw that, when their streak stopped at 6, and they won like 9 and 10 years, I thought, that's it. We're never going to see anything like that again. But you never say never in sports, because just when you think someone can't beat a record, someone comes along and does.
And what are your predictions for these games?
Well, I think we're going to have some high-scoring games. The turf at the Dakota Dome favors teams with speed, and especially in the 9-man classes, because some of these schools play on smaller fields. It's not as common as it was, say, 20, 30 years ago. But a lot of it is just if you can get your running back to the corner and get some good blocking, turn the corner, generally they can escape down the sideline with a big, long touchdown run. I've seen that over and over again. It favors teams that are faster.
Well, thanks for being here with us today, Steve. Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Maggie Bishop.
Thanks, Maggie. Listen to Tomb tomorrow for both Thursday games.
Despite leading by 11 points at halftime, the women's basketball team lost their 2nd straight game to open the season. Despite leading by 15 after the first quarter and by 11 at half, USD got outscored 45-27 in the second half in the 73-66 loss to Air Force. Gracie Larkins led the Coyotes in scoring with 15 points, while Alexi Hempe and Carly Duffney also scored in double digits with 13 and 12. This year, the Coyote women's basketball team welcomed a new head coach, Carrie Aim. She brings with her over 20 years of coaching experience with a career win rate of nearly 67%. Amy says there are several reasons why she decided to coach at USD, including the program's legacy and commitment to both athletic and academic success.
The tradition here, women's basketball has been very successful at USD historically, and it's important for me to be at a place where, it's well supported, and also there's been a history of being successful.
Before coming to USD, Amy made multiple NCAA NIA tournament appearances and was a finalist for Division II Coach of the Year in her last season at the University of Nebraska-Kearney. Amy will be leading the team tonight as the Coyotes take on the Loyola Marymount Lions at home for their 3rd game of the season. The women's basketball team travels to Sioux Falls to face an opponent that they haven't competed against for over 10 years. Coyote News' Sydney Colin reports the team's prepared for the matchup.
The women's basketball team will compete against Nebraska for the first time since 2013. At that time, Nebraska's current head coach, Amy Williams, was the head coach for South Dakota. Current USD head coach, Carrie Amy, is familiar with Nebraska's team as she spent time coaching in the state and even recruited some of their players.
They're a good team. They have a good team this year, and they're going to be tough. They've got a really nice post presence in Markowski, and Britt Prince is a freshman, and they have big expectations for her.
The Coyotes started out their season with a 2-point loss in overtime against St. Louis. Senior guard Grace Larkin says that while the loss isn't the greatest, it can be inspiring.
I think it's one of those where you just get really motivated after a loss, especially a loss like that when it was so close it could have gone either way. So coming into the next game, fixing the mistakes that we made, starting off a little bit stronger, and just keeping our heads up.
This is the 12th time in program history that USD and Nebraska have met. Out of those 12 times, USD has only won once, back in 1981. While the upcoming game may be a tough one, it can bring on many lessons.
You get into situations that are hard to replicate in practice. So every time you're in those situations, you have opportunities to learn what did we do well and what can we do better. So I think there were several of those opportunities.
Saturday's game will be the first neutral site meeting between the two teams. For Coyote News, I'm Sydney Colin.
Saturday's game starts at 7 at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls.
The volleyball team reaches a season-high 5-game winning streak against NDSU. USD defeats the Bison in 4 sets behind 15 kills from Lauren Medic and Kylie Seelock. Avery Van Hook picked up her 15th double-double while Medic reached her 11th. South Dakota improves to 18-6 on the season and 10-3 in conference play with 3 games left on the season.
That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students about football traditions. Stay with us.
Hey, do you want to answer a quick question for Coyote News?
Huh? What's the question?
It's about roommates. It'll only take a second.
I don't know.
Come on. All you have to do is talk to me. What's the weirdest thing that you found your roommate doing?
One time I came home from class and she was clipping her toenails on my bed. That was weird and gross.
Hey, look, it's you.
That was weird and gross.
No way.
This is Coyote News.
43 monkeys have escaped from a compound used for medical research in South Carolina, but the nearby police chief says they are almost no danger to the public. The monkeys escaped from the facility last Wednesday when a new employee didn't fully shut an enclosure. They are harmless as they are about the size of a cat and they aren't infected with any disease whatsoever. So far, 32 monkeys have been returned to the compound since their escape, leaving 11 still outside and unaccounted for. The facility says that its efforts to recover all the monkeys will continue for as long as it takes.
From making buffalo dip to wearing matching jerseys, each family has a different way of celebrating football.
We asked students what football traditions themselves or their families celebrate.
Here's what they had to say.
Just watch the Broncos every Sunday with each other.
We always have good snacks, but also I can tell whether we're winning or losing based on if my mom's cursing or not.
Well, after church, we always watch football like directly after, but everyone in my family's a different fan of different teams, so it's a really weird football dynamic.
Me and my family like to watch the Kansas City Chiefs games, not because I'm a Taylor Swift fan though.
I think that what we do most on game day is hate on the Cowboys in our family group chat because we're all Cowboys fans and it's very hard to watch.
We usually host the Super Bowl party, and my family, we all just bring a bunch of food.
We usually have a Super Bowl party every year and watch the Bears every Sunday.
We always get together for the Super Bowl, and my parents like to eat or drink the enemy, so like you make a cake and has a bear on it, like silly things, so we do that for games.
One of my favorite traditions is going down to Frisco to watch SDSU win the national championship every year.
Well, my family, we're Bears fans, so I guess my tradition for our family would be usually crying.
I don't know if I should feel betrayed by the SDSU guy, but my family, we like watching the Broncos.
See, for me, it was just about the food.
Same. My family's Cowboys fans though, so it's a little embarrassing right now. Yeah.
And that's all for Coyote News. Pick up the Volant for a movie review about Smile 2.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of your USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily updates and the weekly poll.
Stay tuned after the broadcast for the USD versus SDSU volleyball rivalry special. And if you'd like to try out for Coyote News anchor spots, auditions are December 11th from 1 to 4 in the New Hearth Center. Have a great night.